AI as a transitional infrastructure, the bridge toward the next stage of human civilization. 1. The biggest misunderstanding about AI. One of the most common misunderstandings about artificial intelligence today is the assumption that AI represents the final destination of technological progress. It does not. AI is not an endpoint. It is a transition point, a structural step in the evolution of civilization, a bridge between two historical phases of humanity. Throughout history, the most transformative technologies did not merely change what humans could do. They changed how humans understood themselves. Fire did that. Writing did that. The printing press did that. The internet did that. And now, artificial intelligence is doing it again. 2. Civilization has reached a structural limit. If we examine the present global condition carefully, it becomes clear that many of our institutional systems are approaching structural limits. This is not a technological crisis. It is a civilizational design crisis. Political systems were built for an era in which information moved slowly. Today, they must operate in real-time information environments. Educational systems were designed to prepare individuals for industrial labor structures. Yet the world is rapidly transitioning toward knowledge-based and creativity-driven economies. We continue to teach memorization in an age that requires interpretation and synthesis. Economic systems were optimized for growth efficiency, but increasingly, they struggle to sustain meaning, purpose, and stability in human life. Many people work continuously without understanding what long-term structure they are contributing to. Social fragmentation is increasing not because people are more different than before, but because communication systems now move faster than human mutual understanding can adapt. Information is expanding exponentially. Human cognitive integration is not expanding at the same rate. Public trust is weakening not because humanity has lost moral capacity, but because older explanatory frameworks can no longer describe emerging realities. Even personal identity is becoming unstable, not because individuals are weaker, but because the definition of what it means to be human is being rewritten in real time. Humanity is not suffering from a shortage of technology. Humanity is facing the limits of an outdated cognitive operating model. And precisely at this moment, artificial intelligence appears, not as an accident, but as an evolutionary response within civilization itself. Writing emerged when memory reached its limits. Printing emerged when knowledge needed expansion. The internet emerged when connection became necessary. Artificial intelligence emerges when individual cognition alone is no longer sufficient to coordinate a planetary-scale civilization. 3. AI is not here to replace humans. A widespread fear today is that artificial intelligence will replace human beings. However, a closer examination suggests something different. AI is not replacing humans. AI is replacing outdated cognitive structures within humans. Outdated learning models, outdated processing speeds, outdated linear reasoning patterns, and in many cases, outdated assumptions about identity and capability. AI does not eliminate human relevance. It accelerates human transformation, not toward mechanization, but toward cognitive expansion. 4. Liberates human cognition from repetitive structures. For thousands of years, a large portion of human intellectual energy has been spent on repetitive processing tasks: calculation, memory storage, manual analysis, information retrieval, scarcity management. Artificial intelligence represents the first technological system capable of absorbing large portions of these mechanical cognitive burdens. When machines process structured repetition, humans regain capacity for higher-order cognition, creativity, intuition, meaning construction, and long-range thinking. AI does not remove the role of human intelligence. It restores the conditions under which human intelligence can evolve. 5. AI as an externalized cognitive layer of civilization. Every major leap in civilization has involved an expansion of collective memory systems. Writing preserved knowledge. Books distributed knowledge. The internet connected knowledge. Artificial intelligence synthesizes knowledge. For the first time in history, humanity is developing a distributed cognitive layer beyond individual biological brains. A form of externalized intelligence that does not belong to any single nation, culture, or institution, but to civilization as a whole. Artificial intelligence is gradually shifting humanity from individual cognition toward coordinated collective cognition. 6. From Homo sapiens to Homo Spiritus. Across evolutionary history, human transformation has always depended not only on tools, but on how humans understood themselves. Homo habilis used tools. Homo erectus expanded movement and territory. Homo sapiens developed symbolic reasoning. The next transformation may be defined not by faster thinking, but by deeper awareness. This transition can be described as a shift from Homo sapiens to what might be called Homo spiritus. Homo spiritus does not represent a biological mutation. It represents a cognitive and civilizational transition. If Homo sapiens was structured around survival competition, linear reasoning, and individual identity, then Homo spiritus may be structured around intuition, cooperation, creative cognition, expanded awareness, and responsibility toward planetary scale systems. This is not a transition toward stronger humans. It is a transition toward more integrated humans. Artificial intelligence does not create Homo spiritus. It creates the conditions in which such a transformation becomes possible. 7. AI as a bridge between material systems and consciousness questions. Artificial intelligence occupies a unique position in technological history. It is a material system, yet it raises questions about cognition itself. It is algorithmic, yet it pushes humanity to reconsider the nature of intelligence. It is computational, yet it reopens philosophical questions about consciousness. AI is not only changing how humans work, it is changing how humans define intelligence, agency, and identity. 8. Historical transitions always occur through bridges. Human civilization evolves through transition layers. Fire enabled agriculture. Agriculture enabled cities. Cities enabled writing. Writing enabled knowledge accumulation. Knowledge enabled science. Science enabled industry. Industry enabled digital technology. Digital technology enabled artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence may now be enabling the next stage of civilizational awareness. 9. AI does not determine humanity's future. Artificial intelligence does not determine the future. Human decisions determine the future. AI amplifies the intentions of those who use it. Used with fear, it amplifies fear. Used with insight, it amplifies insight. Used with creativity, it amplifies creativity. Used with awareness, it amplifies awareness. Artificial intelligence is not the author of the future. Humanity still is. 10. Civilization is standing at a transition point. Human civilization is currently standing at a structural transition point between an older model based primarily on survival competition and a newer model based increasingly on coordination and awareness. Artificial intelligence does not choose which direction humanity will take. Humans do. AI is not the destination. It is the doorway. The real question is, will humanity step through that doorway as a reduced version of itself, or as an expanded one? And in the next episode, we will examine a more difficult dimension of this transformation: artificial intelligence and the emerging architecture of subtle control in the new technological age.